Hello everyone, patching into today's fourth video. We're doing the ENSO update for May 2020 for today's fourth video. So we're going to see what's happening in terms of the El Nino, La Nina and the ENSO region through the equatorial Pacific Ocean. We'll bring you up to date with latest developments. We'll have a look at sea surface temperature anomalies currently in the ENSO region, and then we'll have a look at some model output, see what the long-range models are forecasting ENSO to do in the next few months. So I'll get on with that for you very short. Just been a really busy day at Anomaly, so really pushing out the content. So I hope you've been enjoying it. We start off with our European outlook, of course, as always, on a Friday morning. Now we have a weekend forecast for Europe. That is just on YouTube at the moment. We're not embedding that to GazWeatherVids.com. So if you want to see that, you have to go to the YouTube channel and also subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Also, JMA Friday, so that's a month-ahead look ahead, as well as on a Friday, got your month-ahead look ahead, and also a week 10 of the update too, including all of regular features. It's all out there for you, so check it out. And it's all there. It's on the website. It's on the YouTube channel. So have a look and see what you think to all of today's videos. So let's go on with the ENSO update then. So we're going to begin with where we currently are in terms of ENSO, and we're going to be looking at the cold and warm episodes by season chart from CPC, NCEP and NOAA. Now, of course, when we did last month's update, the big story was whether we was going to get an El Nino event designated for the winter of 2019-20. Would we get an El Nino event designated? And I can tell you that has happened. We'll have a look at it in a moment. But just to explain this chart, so this is showing all ENSO events going back to the 1950s. Blue negative numbers are La Nina events, they're cold events. So 1971, for example, has a La Nina event lasting throughout the year. Red positive numbers are El Nino events, and we see it in 1972 through to 1973. We have an El Nino, a warm event, lasting from 72 to 73. So El Nino is red, La Nina is blue. Now, to have these events, and of course black is ENSO neutral, so that's when you're neither in El Nino or La Nina. Now, to have these events designated, a quite strict criteria has to be met. You have to be at least half a degree above average for El Nino or half a degree below average for La Nina. And you have to do it over 5 tri-monthly periods. So when we looked at this last month, we had 4 tri-monthly periods during 2019 and 2020 that were reaching this half a degree threshold. And we said that if we got one more tri-month period that reaches half a degree threshold, we would then see the numbers go red and we would have an El Nino designated. That is what has happened. So if you look at 2019 just here, we have these 2 tri-monthly periods for October, November, December, and November, December, January, both at half a degree above average. December, January, February 2020 is at half a degree above average again. January, February, March 2020 is at 0.6 degrees above average. That's 4. And for February, March, April, there we go. That's the all-important one. Again, 0.5 degrees above average. That means that we, in fact, did have probably the weakest El Nino on record during the winter of 2019-2020. Quite surprising, quite unexpected. Don't think many people were expecting this to be confirmed, but there we go. The stats don't lie, although these can be changed a little bit. So if one of these tri-monthly periods was ever to be corrected down to, say, 0.4, let's say that one, or maybe this one, if one of these was to be corrected down by just 0.1 of a degree at some point in the future, then the red colours will go and we go back to black, and it would in fact have been an ENSO neutral ENSO neutral winter. That is how much of a borderline we have been during this winter between ENSO neutral and El Nino. But as it stands now, today, when I'm recording this video, we have had probably the weakest El Nino on record for the winter of 2019-2020. Now, I can't show you, unfortunately, this is the old view of sea surface temperature anomaly maps, of course. I can't, unfortunately, show you how these were looking back in April, when we did April's ENSO update, because they seem to have restricted these charts a little bit. the more modern charts anyway. So I can only show you the very latest. So this is how things looking as of the 25th of May. The ENSO region just here looks like it's rapidly cooling down. Look at that. Looks like it's rapidly cooling down through the ENSO region, particularly this central part of the ENSO region. That could well be the signature for a weak La Nina. It does look as though weak La Nina conditions are getting going. We can do a comparison with the new sea surface temperature anomaly map. So this is how the new sea surface temperature anomaly maps were looking through the ENSO region when we did last month's April update. Just here, of course, the ENSO region is the actual Pacific Ocean from Peru in South America, just there over to Indonesia over here. So as I say, that's how things looked when we did last month's ENSO update in April. This is how things compare. And actually, you have had a very rapid descent in towards a La Nina signature over the past month. That is quite a quick flip. It's a relatively weak affair at the moment. So it isn't like flipping to a moderate or strong La Nina signal. It's like a flipping to a weak La Nina signal. But it is quite a rapid flip, actually, that we're seeing here. Again, if we compare April to now, that is quite a dramatic change, really. That will probably be something that we'll have to factor in when we come to release Gazov's summer forecast. But that is quite, that'll be on Sunday, but that is quite a dramatic change there. So it looks like we have a signature for a La Nina at the moment. Let's have a look at the subsurface temperature anomalies. So this is from the CPC, NCEP and NOAA PDF. So with this, you have to think that, like, again, this is the surface just here. That's Peru over there. That is Indonesia over there. This is the surface of the actual Pacific Ocean just here. And these are the depths of the ocean from 50 down to 150 down to 250 meters. So you can see that at depth, we have got ever deepening, strengthening and expanding cold and average subsurface temperature anomalies. They have broken through to the surface through here, but down at depth, kind of between around 50 and 150 meters, actually the La Nina, the cold average subsurface temperature anomalies are even stronger than they are on the surface. So that does look as though it could be a bit of a signal for a La Nina to me. This is how things have changed over the past few weeks. So this is back from the week up to the 29th of March, just here. Look how much smaller that cold average area subsurface temperature anomalies is, and how much warmer it is up towards the surface. That's the 13th of April just there. That's the 28th of April. That's the 13th of May. You can see week by week we lose the warmer than average sea surface temperature anomalies, and we strengthen and deepen the cold average subsurface temperature anomalies. But the very latest does look to me as though it could be rather La Nina-esque, I have to say, particularly through that central and eastern part of the equatorial Pacific Ocean at depth. Again, remember, we're talking about subsurface temperature anomalies at depths of around 50 to 150 meters. So from a sea surface temperature anomaly perspective and from a subsurface temperature anomaly perspective, it does look to me as though the Pacific Ocean, the actual Pacific ENSO region, wants to start moving towards a La Nina. But the other thing that has to happen to get this La Nina going is that the atmosphere has to couple up with the ocean. And so we look at the SOI to see what the atmosphere is doing. So this is the Southern Oscillation Index. It's just an index that's reflecting the atmospheric state. It's not driving anything in its own terms. It just tells us what the atmosphere is doing. When the SOI is positive, in its positive phase, then the atmosphere will be in a rather La Nina type setup. When the SOI is in its negative phase, then the SOI will be in a rather El Nino type setup. This is from Queensland government down there in Australia, of course. So we've got our various columns here. So this column here is measuring air pressures on a day-by-day basis for Tahiti. This column just here is measuring air pressures on a day-by-day basis for Darwin, and then this is our actual SOI number. These are preliminary, but they don't tend to change all that much. So if we go down to a few days ago, we can see, for example, around the 13th of May, we did have quite strong positivity of the SY at plus 15.26, and the 14th of May at plus 8.90. Really quite positive in terms of the SOI then. Also on the 16th and 17th of May, we see quite positive numbers too. So plus 12 and plus 11. These are all atmospheric SY numbers out of 10, so the atmospheric state is kind of La Nina-esque. But the more recent days have actually got a little bit more negative again. So you've got the 21st of May coming out positive at plus 10.97, and the 22nd of May coming out positive at plus 5.15. That is, again, rather reflective of La Nina. But more recently, the 24th of May at minus 14.08 is more reflective of an El Nino type atmospheric setup. 25th of May, again, minus 3.58. 26th of May, minus 6.37. And the last date that we have is the 27th of May at minus 5.11. Again, this is rather El Nino-esque type atmospheric setups that we've seen over the past few days. So that may limit the descent into the cold range, into La Nina for the time being. But of course, to put a stop to us going into La Nina, that will probably have to be sustained over several days or weeks now. And I suspect this will quite quickly start to move back more towards a La Nina type phase. That's certainly what the CFS V2 is forecasting and has been since January. It looks like this has been a pretty good forecast from the CFS V2 as far back as January. We do throw a lot of shade up the CFS and give it a lot of stick, but on this La Nina event, it does look as though the CFS has been calling this right. So our temperature anomalies are on the side, and our dates are along at the bottom in monthly periods. This is where we currently are, of course, somewhere around here, so we're sort of between ENSO neutral and La Nina, but on the cold side of ENSO neutral. By July, and the CFS has been very consistent about this, we probably go into La Nina threshold, half a degree below average. That's the all important, half a degree below average just there. Going to proper La Nina threshold by July, and then we stick around that as we go through the summer and into the autumn. So it's only going for a week La Nina. It does have to be restated, but the CFS is still only going for a week La Nina, somewhere around half degree to 1 degree cold average. But that does get us to La Nina threshold, albeit a week. And as I say, the CFS V2 has been very, very consistent about this. This is the actual sea surface temperature anomaly forecast from the CFS for June. So this is the colder than average area of sea surface temperature anomalies that the model is picking up on just there. That expands out as we go through to September. So that's a proper La Nina signal then that we've got by September, albeit it is only a week La Nina signal, but it's a proper La Nina signal that the model is going for in September. This is how CANSIPS is forecasting things. This is from tropicaltidbits.com, of course. So again, June sea surface temperature anomaly showing a rather weak signal for a La Nina. But by September, we see that has strengthened and expanded out as well. So yes, we could be finding ourselves moving towards La Nina setting up through this summer, if both CFS and CANSIPS are correct. ECM looks like that, so the ECMWF is also moving towards a La Nina, I think. So again, we've got a temperature anomalies on the side and our dates in monthly periods along the bottom. This is the ECMWF ensemble plume, so that's where we're starting off at, around here on the warm side of ENSO neutral. By the time you get through to the summer, you see this is like the warm end of the range up here, and this is the cold end of the range down here. By the summer, most of the ensemble plume members are through there, which is kind of on the cold side of ENSO neutral. But by the time you get through to September, most of the ensemble plume members are more there, and that is going into weak La Nina threshold as well. So I think the ECM ensemble plume is also seeing a descent into a weak La Nina through this summer. It is quite a change on last month. Notice the ensemble plume members last month were generally on the warm side of ENSO neutral. They have lowered that down quite a bit now and I think it is going pretty much for a week landing it set up through this summer and into the early autumn. Jamstack's still not really seeing it though. So again, our temperature anomalies are on the side, the dates are on bottom monthly periods. We're around here right now. The ensemble mean keeps things at ENSO neutral, albeit it is reducing, but the ensemble mean keeps things at ENSO neutral. Doesn't go into a La Nina with a Jamstack. So Jamstack is still holding out for ENSO neutral. And then finally, the UK Met Office Grossy 5 model is also going for it's going for a La Nina setup for this summer. This is sea temperature anomaly for June, July, August. This blue area here is actually quite a cold. Quite a big La Nina setting up on the temperature scale. That's going down to like 2 degrees below average. So that's actually quite a strong La Nina that the UK Met model wants to set up through this summer. Let's see if we can go on to months 4 to 6, which takes us into the autumn. And yeah, that's a proper La Nina signal that the UK Met is going for. I think out of all of models, the UK Met is probably going for the strongest La Nina of all of these models. So it looks like it's on its way to me. I mean, something could happen to stop this, but at the moment, it looks to me like we are firmly on our way into a developing La Nina signal, and we're likely to see this developing further through the summer, possibly strengthening a little bit, although most of the model output, UK Met's on its own really, most of the model output is sort of around a weak La Nina, so not developing this into a moderate strong event. But sometimes these things can snowball a lot more than the models think. So we need to keep an eye on it. It does look as though we are on our way into a La Nina to be through this summer, and we're going to have to wait and see you know, how that develops and whether it strengthens and whatnot. So next month's update, ENSO update, is going to be quite interesting to see whether this La Nina signal has developed further, and if it has, whether we are beginning to build up into a stronger La Nina type pattern or not. I've got to think it's just going to be a weak La Nina personally, but the UK Met does look rather strong with this, and it's a good model UK Met, so we need to take that seriously. Alright, that's your ENSO update for May, so we'll do it again next month, and don't forget to check out all of today's videos. As I say, we've been really pushing out the content for you today, so I hope you've enjoyed all of the videos. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have a very busy day coming up again, so we're going to start off first thing, 10 AM video will be released, which is the third and final season model roundup for summer of 2020. We're getting all the long-range models together and see what rules shown for the summer for the last time, but of course ahead of the of his summer forecast being released on Sunday. Also got weekend forecast for you tomorrow. I have a week's 10-day video update as well, so loads of updates coming up tomorrow, and then on Sunday it's the big one. We've got a summer forecast. We've got our summer forecast coming up for you then on Sunday, so that'll be the first video up on Sunday. Begins with his summer forecast, have Gaz with his sunny roundup, have a little sneak peek for the autumn as well, so the long range bandwagon will be rolling on from summer to autumn very soon. Have a little sneak peek for autumn on Sunday, and also we'll be live streaming Sunday evening, well, Sunday afternoon / evening around 5 o'clock. And with that one, we're going to go even further out, and we'll have a look at CFSV2 for winter of 2020-21. Look at some winter data from the CFSV2. So lots and lots coming up over the weekend. Do keep checking back for all of it. As I said, we are pushing out the content big time at the moment, and I hope you're enjoying it. Please like the videos. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking, and don't forget to sub our YouTube channel. And we'll be up 10 AM tomorrow with the season one roundup, final season one roundup for the summer of 2020. But for this month's ENSO update, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.